Hello and welcome to today's Your Daily Five. I'm Tom Bowley, Chief Market Strategist at earningsbeats.com, and I'm excited to join you on this Thursday, October 14th. Today, what I want to do is go over 5 charts with you. The way I kind of approach earnings season is I want to look to see which areas, which sectors, which industry groups look strong as we head into earnings season. And then I want to find individual stocks within those strong groups. So that's going to be the focus. But before I get into any of that, I want to let you know that we're having a huge event on Saturday at earningsbeats.com. It's called ChartFest 2021. So if you go over to earningsbeats.com, you can just scroll down. You can kind of read about it. You can click here on this link to learn a little bit more about the event. But I'm really excited. 2 really good friends of mine, Grayson Rose, Vice President of Operations at StockCharts, and David Keller, Chief Market Strategist at StockCharts and also the host of The Final Bar. Both of them will be joining me on Saturday. We are going to be talking about the StockCharts platform. I'll be talking some about the Earnings Beats platform, how we use StockCharts at Earnings Beats, and we're going to be going over so many charts. They're going to be giveaways, so we're going to give away some of our chart lists, so some of the research that we do at Earnings Beats. I know Dave and Grayson also are planning to give away some information as well. So please, love to have you join us. It's a free event. All you have to do is be a subscriber to our free newsletter. We're going to be sending out room instructions to everybody on that list. So right down here, subscribe to the free Earnings Beats Digest. All it takes is a name and email address. No credit card required. We'd love to have you, and we'll make sure we get you those instructions on Saturday morning before the event. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern, and if you can't make it live, we'll send you a recording. So you can't beat all that. We'd love to have you. So Saturday, October 16th, that's this Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Love to have you. All right, let's take a look at the 5 charts. So the first thing I wanted to point out is software. So I'm going to give you one stock, one hot stock within one hot industry group within our 5 aggressive sectors, one from each of the 5 aggressive sectors. That's technology, communication services, consumer discretionary, financials, and industrials. So I'm going to start off here first with Datadog. Datadog has been on fire. You can see the accumulation distribution line right here, continues moving up, setting new highs. The stock just broke out on Wednesday. Volume picked up. As you can see, I circled it there. When you look at software, software has been in a solid uptrend. Datadog relative to software has been trending higher. So you've got a really good stock within the software space. It's obviously trending higher versus the S&P 500 as well. And software is trending higher versus the S&P 500. So you've got a very strong industry group and one of the leaders in Datadog. The second stock that I wanted to pull up, I'm going to go over to consumer discretionary now and look at automobiles. Automobiles are regaining strength. This was a very, very hot area of the market. Coming into 2021, we went sideways for a while, and we're starting to accelerate again to the upside. So I'm really liking the auto space. One of my favorite stocks, I've talked about this many times on StockCharts, the various shows that I do, the various blogs. Love Tesla, TSLA. And Tesla recently, you could see one out so recently back in April, but after falling from its high in January down to about the 550 level in early March, we rebounded and we set a reaction high right up at about that 770 area. After going back down, setting a double bottom, we then consolidated further, started to move back higher, and we finally cleared that 775 level. Tesla reports its earnings next week. We do have a little bit of in-the-money call premium, and we've got options expiring this week. So that gives me maybe just a little bit of reason to pause. Maybe we pull back a little bit near term, and I'm talking about the next couple of days. But Tesla will be reporting the middle part of next week, and I expect a big number out of Tesla. We're going to find out. But when you go down, you look at these other charts, you'll see autos moving higher. Tesla coming off its relative low all the way back in June. It's been trending higher relative to the group. It's been trending higher relative to the S&P. And you can see autos moving up relative to the S&P 500 just recently, setting about an 8 or 9 month relative high. So I like the group and I like Tesla. Moving on to the third chart here I wanted to go over. This is Sprout Social. So moving on to communication services. Internet stocks, gotta like internet. I know they've been pulling back here of late, but the long-term picture with this group is very strong. And here is one of the stocks I think that is going to be leading in the fourth quarter. We've got the AD line, which has been moving higher. I think that's a sign of accumulation. We've had the stock trending higher. Just recently, you can see these lower highs, the lower lows squeezing into a little wedge piece of pie. And I think we just broke out of this back to the upside. We went all the way back down to test the area of the last breakout at the end of August. I think the stock looks really good. And again, when we look down the rest of these charts, there's your internet space trending higher. Here's a Sprout relative to the internet space, relative to the S&P 500. And then, of course, internet stocks have continued to be strong throughout. So Sprout Social is my third chart. Moving on to the fourth chart. This is Textainer Group Holdings. This is in the industrial area, transportation services. Once again, if you look at the AD line, accumulation distribution, it's been moving higher. I think right now it's just kind of trending sideways. So maybe you want to wait and see if we get this breakout or perhaps a pullback to the moving averages. But TGH, I believe, is setting up for a breakout here very shortly. When I look down at the various panels down below here on the same chart, there's your transportation services group, which has been moving higher. We've got rising lows and rising highs on a relative basis, TGH versus the transportation services group. TGH relative to the S&P 500 actually just set a new 52-week relative high. And there you can see transportation services, which has been rising versus the S&P 500. When I look at these charts and you see all these arrows going up from left to right, this is what I'm referring to when I talk about leading stocks in leading industry groups. And again, all of these are in the 5 aggressive groups of the market. My fifth and final stock that I wanted to show you today, this is CODI, Compass Diversified Holdings. This is in the financial space. It is a specialty finance company. So first of all, look at the AD line. It is absolutely soared. And even though we haven't made a price breakout, we have continued to move higher in the AD line. Look at this pullback right here. The stock was pulling back almost every day for 3 weeks, and the AD line went up and set a new high because we were putting in so many tails. We would go down intraday, and then we'd see buying in the afternoon, which I think is a sign of accumulation. Stock went down, tested the last breakout area, moving back up. It looks like it's about to break out, but it hasn't done so yet. So this is another one. Maybe you want to see that breakout first or wait for maybe a moving average test. But when we come down here and we look at the specialty finance group, which has been very strong right here, you can see it's been moving up. Then you've got CODI relative to specialty finance, which has been now going up for about 2.5 months off of this low at the beginning of August. CODI relative to the S&P 500, setting a new 52-week high, and then check out specialty finance relative to the S&P 500. Strong group and a strong stock within the group, all of these being accumulated. Now, I did want to give you an honorable mention for each of the sectors. So I picked software in technology. I'm going to give you an honorable mention, which is renewable energy. That group is starting to move. You want to keep an eye on that. Within the consumer discretionary space, we talked about Tesla and automobiles. I think you also need to be watching business training and employment agencies. That's another group that I think has been strengthening, looks good. In communication services, we talked about the internet space, but I'm going to give an honorable mention to publishers. Publishers have been showing some strength of late. Then in the industrials, again, talked about TGH in the transportation services area. Business support services would be my honorable mention there. And then finally, in the finance sector, specialty finance, CODI is the pick there. But an honorable mention industry group would be insurance brokers, which have really caught fire of late. So those are the 5 charts for today. You've got DDOG, TSLA, SPT, TGH, and CODI. One last reminder, please come out and join us on Saturday. We'd love to have you. Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, ChartFest 2021. We are going to be going over so many charts, so many routines, so many ways to approach the market using our research and education platform at Earnings Beats, and then also the platform that you're so familiar with at StockCharts.com. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure joining you today. Make sure you sign up for ChartFest. Hope to see you on Saturday. Happy trading, everybody.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.